Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go,
here we are. We had an incredible week 12. We got an incredible week 13. The playoffs have been decided. Who's in, at least. The seeding, not quite. Amazing game last week between the Fetish and the Rooster. I don't know what to say. He needed to turn in a high-scoring performance for his own playoff direction. And it turned out he needed to do that, too, to beat the Rooster. Incredible.
Should we lay down some jinxes right now? Maybe talk a lot about Todd and Bear Beaver Fetish?
We need to do that to Brady's Revenge because I'm playing him, it looks like twice in a row. Coming up this weekend, I'm like, oh, great, I wonder who I'm playing going into week 13. And I think, oh, great, I'm playing Brady's Revenge next week. And then I click on the projected playoff bracket. Oh, Brady's Revenge, round 1. Fantastic.
Who's the 8th seed right now? If I do get the 1st seed,
you'll be playing Eric.
And then I will lose.
If the Fetish goes out and scores another 145.5 points, he might overtake Jay at 7 to move up into the 7th spot. Then you would play Jay if he went to 8.
I don't like to play Jay either. I want to play Chris.
You want to play Chris again?
Yeah.
Mr. League Involvement has deleted the app from his phone. Not following the league anymore.
These same stories play out every year.
He is in the middle of a tremendous losing streak. He's lost either 6 or 7 in a row.
I'd like to play in the playoffs. My brother.
Does Brian collapse in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Now, there's a guy in the league who we haven't talked a lot about, and it's Aaron's Army. And he's got a sneaky lineup. And he's squeezing into the playoffs. He'll be in. He could be in at 8-5, or he could be in at 7-6. He's another guy that, given the points he scored, could line up against you in week 1 as the 8th seed.
I think the top 4 seeds will lose the first round of the playoffs.
That tends to be how it goes. I mean, the Fetish won last year. He took out David, who had the juggernaut team, and he squeezed into the playoffs just like he did this year. And through a series of events like the Odell Beckham Jr. suspension, Eric takes the title. And look, the heart of champion, he won't be denied again this year.
Big Ben reminds me a lot of the 2003 Raiders. Went to the championship, lost, and then he's been awful ever since.
He'll have another 13 straight years of disaster like the Raiders, and this is his first year of it. It could happen.
Can we talk a little bit about Rudolph?
Kyle Rudolph or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
We can talk about both. Kyle Rudolph, Hands of Stone.
Wasn't that Roberto Duran, Hands of Stone?
But he was a boxer, so that was a good thing. Receiver, Hands of Stone, bad thing.
Not good.
He catches the ball, and what is his first move? Go backwards and then go forward.
Isn't that the story of the Minnesota Vikings season? Actually, they went forward first, now backwards.
You know how I'm dealing with losing?
Tell me how.
If they almost win, it's kind of like a victory. I feel like, that was a pretty good game. They have 3 losses that are really wins.
They want more guys like you. Yeah.
We lose the coach. We lose the center. We lose Teddy Bridgewater. We lose Adrian Peterson. We lose the Khalil, our punt returner. They cut Blair Walsh. They cut Norv Turner. And the punter last night, he averaged like 20 yards a punt.
But let's swerve back to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I've always struggled with the timeline. When Rudolph leaves the Island of Misfit Toys, he takes off, he grows up. I mean, how much time has gone by when Rudolph leaves his friends, wanders the wilderness, and then decides to go home, pulls up to the snow monster's cave.
Right.
Just in time.
It's all really valid, what you're saying. And he's a fawn, basically, when this whole thing starts. They grow quick. Of course, he isn't a deer, he's a reindeer. Maybe they have a slower growth rate.
Or faster. It's like, you watch The Affair?
No.
All right, never mind. Timeline issue. But that's, I'm going to edit that one out. Here's the one thing I love.
Big fan.
Did you ever notice how they deliver the Misfit toys? They throw them out the back of the sleigh. Umbrella, see ya.
If you get a chance this season to watch the Charlie Brown Christmas special, watch it again, and you will be stunned about how cruel all those kids are to each other. Like, what is going on in Charles M. Schultz's world? I mean, these kids are brutal to each other and Charlie Brown.
Bullying was accepted back then, so
bullying
it was not a big deal.
Definitely accepted, yeah.
Rudolph comes back to the old neighborhood.
Have
you seen my mom and dad and Clarice? Yeah, get out of here! Get out of here!
You! I thought you were gone for good. Hey, look who's back. Old Neon knows.
It's like West Side Story.
It's like Scarface.
Scarface.
Do we have to even make picks this week?
We could. We kind of don't need to because the playoffs are set.
Till then, see you later.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudy join in any reindeer game.